All right, all right. Good morning. We're live. We are
Yes, yes.
live here at Comic Artist Pro Secrets. This is the morning show. It's kind of the
Yeah.
Comicsgate morning show. My guest, of course, this is my guest host. Are you my guest host, Antonio?
I'm something. I'm here. That's all. I was like,
Yeah.
very happy to be so, by the way.
Well, I'm happy to have you here. You are definitely like, I look forward to talking to you in the morning. I'm like, I got to get up and talk to Antonio about this and see what he thinks. Hang on a second. All right, so we got some people. We got a few people in the chat. Good morning,
Yeah,
everyone.
they falling
Uh,
in. They falling in. I see them.
They're like those are all Antonio Bryce fans there, and they love the morning show.
All right.
Yeah, the morning show trademark just in case Vox Day gets any ideas. Yeah, we're going to trademark everything that we do, Antonio.
Hi-yo. All right.
I think it's important. Trademark hi-yo. I doubt that that's. I don't think you can have that though. I don't think you can have the hi-yo.
I was gonna say I see the very lovely Sashi in the chat. I see her. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
I need
who's
her.
with us tonight or this morning? I always say tonight. I automatically say tonight. Uh, yeah, we got Cookie Brain. We got Coop King. He's co-host. He's co-host. What did I say that you were? Co. I think I said you were co-host, didn't I? Or
Yeah,
just
yeah. I heard co-host, but well,
I could have said
you
something
said
else.
yes, co-host, but I was like, either way, I'm here.
Yeah. So a lot of drama going on in the LBC.
Oh,
Sometimes it's hard being Uncle E. I guess I don't know
yeah.
what runs with that. But I woke up this morning and Andrea said a couple of things to me that were important and that resonated. And Andrea said, when it comes to thinking about dealing with any of these problems, you have to ask yourself uh, three questions. Like if somebody's confronting you with something and it's going to kind of ruin your day about someone else. Three questions. One, is it true?
Mm.
Two, is it necessary? Three, is it kind? And that's the gamut that you have to kind of run through when you decide, decision making about a lot of things. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? And I'm gonna carry that with me. The other thing that she said to me, which was alarming, she's like woke up next to me and she goes, I had the weirdest dream. She said, I dreamt that I woke up and you had an enormous piece of paper, like spread out across the wall, and you were drawing with a Sharpie marker, which I will not draw with a Sharpie marker, Antonio.
Mm.
I won't. You know why I won't draw with a Sharpie marker?
I was going to pick your brain on that, but please elaborate.
Well, first of all, the tip gets dull really quickly. It's not a reliable pen.
Just a
Obviously,
tip.
it's not meant for that. It's meant for just writing on tape, or you know what I mean? It's little messages. It's not meant for or signing comic books. It's not meant for doing artwork. And a lot of artists fell into the trap of using a Sharpie marker back in the late '90s. A lot of older gentlemen started inking their work with Sharpies, in particular Gil Kane. And the
Uh-huh.
problem is that the Sharpie markers turn this greenish yellow over time. They fade, so you can't use a Sharpie marker. Sharpie markers just are not they're not archival ink. And you got whenever you're picking a pen with something to draw with, it's got to be archival ink. So Andrea had this dream that I had this enormous sheet of paper stretched out all over the wall. And then, I'm sitting there drawing. She's like, what are you doing? And she looked at what I was drawing, and I was drawing a picture of the Last Supper with me as Jesus
Oh no.
and you guys spread out
Oh boy.
across the table. Okay. And now I'm drawing this. Now think about the symbolism of this. Think
Are
about
there
me drawing
pies on
this.
the table though? Are there pies on the table?
There must be. She didn't mention that, but I mean, I can't imagine what else I'd be eating. And mostly I eat pie. But think about the symbolism of me drawing this with a non archival pen. Okay. So I'm drawing with a Sharpie marker. Now, I don't know if Andrea's subconscious is aware of that. I don't know if I've ever had that conversation with her before. But it was interesting to me. It struck me as interesting that one of the things that she said was it was a Sharpie marker. It's just against everything that I stand for.
Hmm.
So I'm drawing that with a Sharpie marker, and she said she woke up right when I was drawing a word balloon over my head, and I was about to fill in the dialogue. And she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Shh, I'm writing what I'm about to say." And then she woke up, and it gave me goosebumps. It gives me goosebumps now. Like, what the hell? Like, what an amazing dream. Primark Sanguinea says, "Could you show us that picture, Uncle Ethan? It sounds funny as hell." Yeah, I would have to actually draw that picture. There are a few people I could place in certain spots. But yeah, so that's the dream that she had, and I was like, "What does that mean?" And then like, what was I about to say? Like that. I'm about to write what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I
Like
saw
right into that
somebody
Ritalin.
somebody wrote in the chat that Captain Cummings is Judas.
Definitely. Well, Captain Cummings is no longer in the community, which makes me sad, but it is true.
Yeah,
Um,
I'd hoped y'all would.
I know. Well, I hope so too. I still hope. I still hope. But this thing is steamrolling ahead and moving forward. And Comicsgate is and this is the thing. Andrew and I were talking about this again this morning. I tell my wife and I have a good relationship. I like to think. I like to think that we talk about everything. So she listens to me and she gives me good counsel. I mean, she's I think other wives might be like, shut up. I got things to
Hey,
do. I got more
that's what
important
you're
things.
real supposed to do, man. They supposed to be your best foot forward, man. Give you that good advice and help keep you steady, man. Your rock, your anchor, man. Do that.
Definitely. Definitely. That's what wives should do. That's what husbands should do for their wives too.
Oh,
Um,
facts.
yeah. So she said, I said, why? She said, this is just all of this nonsense is over comic books. Like when you look at what's going on, again, I mean, you just have to repeat that. Uh, all of this is over comic books, and it is insane. It's crazy, and it's just when you really stop to think about it, you're like, that's funny. But the other thing is like, why me? Why is like every time I open up my Twitter, I've got all of these people trying to tear me down. Like I've never seen anything. I've never experienced anything like this. I don't know. Like seriously, here's who I am. I am. I'm looking at Amy Minty. She just said I just copyrighted Comicsgate. So Ethan, you owe me $4 for each time you say the word. Amy, the check's on the way, and it's going to be a big one.
Oh yeah, it's
It's
definitely
going to be a big one. We say Comicsgate a lot, don't we, Antonio?
I need a jersey that says Comicsgate with the Laughing Man logo on it.
Mm,
Talk to a crypto fashion. Maybe we can set that up.
I think we should definitely set that
That actually might sell.
up.
Comics Gate jerseys. That would be
Yeah.
badass. Hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. People might wear that. That's
Yeah,
kind of
I'm seeing some love in the chat room. So I was like, okay.
yeah. Somebody just said Captain Cummings is deployed again. I think. Yeah, I heard something like that. He was going to go take a training course, and I thought that was probably a good thing. But he took down his Twitter, or not his Twitter.
YouTube, I thought he took down everything. I was like, okay.
Yeah, he did. I think he took down his entire social media, which it makes me sad. Again, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I want to. How do I bring people close and just give everyone a big hug? It's a weird kind of thing where I'm just like, no, stop. Like don't stray. Like stay here. We're stronger together. Like I hate to use that Hillary Clinton slogan.
Here's the thing, though, that I would say, being in your position,
Hmm.
you have such influence that even if someone comes in and hugs you, it's not sincere.
Oh,
That's
that's
kind
great.
of that's what they're it's they're making the public peace, but it's not really. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it seems like it's just because I saw some stuff on Twitter about all the gatekeeping stuff start coming up again, and I
Yeah.
was like, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. There's a lot of concern about gatekeeping.
Hmm.
A lot of concern about gatekeeping, which I keep, you can't just, how many more times do you have to, say to people, like, there's no gate, you can, feel free. I mean, come and go, if you call yourself Comicsgate, like you're allowed to be in Comicsgate, like nobody can stop you. It is, it's free reign. We had issues with somebody who I think was kind of close to the clan here. Not the clan. I shouldn't use the word clan, should I? The group. somebody who's kind of close to the family, I would say, even though that makes it sound more mafiosa. But we found out like some bad stuff about him, and just his own belief system. And people were like, condemn him, excommunicate him, and it's just like that's not what this is. Like, all I can really say is he won't be on the show anymore.
It's like John Wick's excommunicado.
Yeah. It's a we don't have the power to do that. That's not what this is. All I can do is like if Comicsgate is this YouTube channel, then he won't be in Comicsgate anymore. But that's not what Comicsgate is. Comicsgate is something much more. Like, Vox Day can literally say, I am Comicsgate. And I mean, I don't think he is, because I think he's got different ideas than Comicsgaters have. But I mean, he can say it and he can be it. It's just, it's something that you assign to yourself. It's something that you ascribe to. I could say I am, Catholic, and as long as I believe what Catholics believe, I guess I could be Catholic. So anyway, that's kind of what Comicsgate is. Is Comicsgate like a religion? Maybe in a way it is. I don't know. It's your ambition. It's the way you want to approach doing comics, buying comics. It's a new way of thinking about the comic book industry, and we are shaking things up. I mean, clearly we are. The more thunder I hear out there, the more like I go, like if everybody just ignored us and we just slowly faded away, it would be something. I mean, I'd be like, well, we are approximately, what we are in terms of size. It's like we're only just, it's me and you and I don't know, maybe 24 other creators right now who are just kind of plugging away and doing our comics.
Oh yeah.
So if everyone ignored us, that would make complete sense to me. But nobody is ignoring us. Nobody is ignoring us. Why?
Oh no. You got the
Why
high
not?
beams on. They paying attention.
Yeah. It's exciting. Like, honestly, think about that. That's a pretty exciting thing. Like being on the precipice of something important. When you are not on the precipice of something important, everyone kind of ignores you, and that's the thing. You just kind of have to fight for attention. When you have to fight off attention, that is when you are on the verge of something kind of important. And this isn't. I know they try to paint this as some kind of scandal. But that's their attempt of fighting us off. We're just doing comics, man. By the way, I read something on Twitter about Peter Samiti and Alterna Comics doing very, very well.
Oh yeah. So, like 10,000 comics have been sold, all this kind of thing. Yeah, people are like going crazy and supporting, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely, because I would, hope that maybe I can, when I get more volumes put up and get everything set up, maybe break brand down into little smaller pieces and maybe be able to publish through Alterna or one of those options. That would be good. Be real cheap.
Yeah, Alterna has to grow. Somebody said, well, no, initially I think this big burst, I think Peter is smart enough to understand. This is just a lot of people showing him love right away.
Right.
The books have to be excellent. These products, it's like I told the Honey Badger yesterday. I just said, look, um, people will not maintain support for you, because of pity or sympathy or or love, even just like wanting to show you love. They have to actually be interested in the product. It has to be delicious. If it's not delicious and if you don't grab them, then that support will eventually fade away, because people don't always perpetually feel pity or sorrow or anger or any of these things. And anti-comics gators are quite right when they say that. They just always say, well, how much longer? It's like, when is this bubble going to burst? Because people aren't going to hate SJWs forever. Well, I disagree about that. I think people are going to hate SJWs forever, but they will move on, and their anger will subside. And if the comics that we're producing are not excellent, Antonio, then they're not going to stay. They're not going to stay around.
And yeah, that's the thing. They were hoping when Zach launched Jawbreakers, or that when you launched Cyberfrog, that it might do about 70, 80,000, maybe 100. And everybody's like, okay, just put a little ripple in there. They weren't expecting these 380, 390,000, 600,000. They weren't expecting those kind of numbers. That scares them, you know. That's
Yeah.
not good. They was like, oh damn, we thought we were just gonna do about 100, maybe, you know.
No, it's got to do better. And this is why. I mean, I wake up every morning and I'm like, look, our future depends on us doing excellent work. We have to do excellent work all the time. I just turned in the Jawbreakers cover. I worked on that a little bit every day
Which
for like,
I loved.
I was nervous about that. Man, I was nervous about that. I thought I sent it over to Zach. I'm like, is this okay? You know, do you like this? And I expected him because Zach's the thing about Zach is he's a comic book critic. And he's also somebody who I'm never quite sure like how he's going to feel about something, where he's going to stand on any particular thing. Sometimes he liked Solo. Like no, he didn't just like Solo. He loved Solo. Like he loved that movie. I hated that movie. And I didn't understand. I was like, well, how could you? And I figured he would, but I mean, still, I'm just like, how could you possibly love Solo? It's one thing to go, well, it was a good popcorn flick, but how do you love Solo? He did. He loved Solo. So I was worried about sending this over to him. Here it is. I mean, here's the cover at this point. Boom. Yeah. I hope it's okay. I hope you guys like it. It took an effing long time. I don't want to draw. Well, I do want to draw gorillas all the time, but I want more time to draw gorillas. Uh,
I thought that cover was. I mean, my God, because I remember when you start drawing some of it on stream, and I don't know how you do that with the little blue outline, and it's not. I've seen other people do like a more detailed line layout than what you do, and you
mhm.
just kind of get the basics down there, and then you just tear it up, man. I don't understand how you do that.
Well, all I'm doing is I'm doing the finished pencils with a pen. So, I put it together like a puzzle. I mean, essentially drawing to me is just okay, we find the shape, like we want you want the motion to go this way. And listen, Zach designed this cover. This is from his initial sketch.
Oh wow, okay.
Well, he did. It was loose. It was like a stick figure sketch. He just said, "I want the monkey here, big head screaming, and then all the jawbreakers tumbling down like they were." And he showed me the John Malin image, the famous John Malin image of the ape standing up, and then all the tiny, and they are like he's way bigger than I would have made him. John Malin made this thing the size of a skyscraper. I wouldn't have done that. I would have made him much smaller, but this is how big this ape is. And he just gave me the design, and I just went, okay, well, we want the sweeping kind of, we want the design to go kind of diagonally from edge to edge. So one hand is up here and the other hand is down here, right? So that's the sweep of the drawing. And then these guys are kind of going in a circular spiral downwards. And that's it. I mean, that's the design. So from there, it's just a matter of picking out foreground and background. And the weirdest thing was, I was like, these hands should be in the very foremost foreground, but I went, no, they're not. Like, they're not in the foreground. Like, they're in the foreground. That's how huge he is. These hands are so big that, I mean, even this guy here, the smallest guy on the page is small. He's bigger on the page than the hand. The hand is further away. He's closer to us than the hand is. That's how big this monkey is. It's just a matter of putting it together like it's like putting together a puzzle, Antonio. A jigsaw puzzle. You just do it piece by piece. You
Yeah,
say, well,
Kanan was salivating when he saw. He said, "Did you see that cover, Ethan?" I was, of course, I saw it. I saw. Yeah, I saw it. But Kanan, when you impressed Kanan, I know you'd have done something
oh,
special.
Kanan's awesome. I'm surprised Kanan's being polite. Kanan is a fantastic artist, and I got a lot to learn from him. But I think we all have a lot to learn from each other. And that's part of what is going to make Comicsgate more fun, because this is a pared down version of the comic book industry. It's pared down. We don't have there are not hundreds and hundreds of artists working within. There are, I don't know, how many of us are there? A dozen artists. I have to count them. I'd like to make a list of Comicsgate artists and writers and how many we've got.
Yeah, we need to start reaching out because I know Kelsey Shannon and I had swapped some emails, and me and him were talking, and we were saying, yeah, we definitely need to start recruiting more letterers, more colorists to get in this community. Because what happened to me, where my colorist, he got real nervous, and he sent me a email, and he was like, I I know you're not a bad person, but I think this is a bad situation for me, and
Mm,
I don't want to be involved. But obviously, I was able to replace him within a few hours, and we have an outstanding colorist again.
absolutely.
Yeah, so that was good looking. John Malin definitely helped with that, so I'm appreciative to him. And then
Yeah.
yeah, I talked to my letterer. I thought my letterer was going to dip. Turned out he's a conservative. So I was like, all righty, that's awesome. Won't dox him, but he's going to stay on board, and we're going to do business together. So it's awesome.
I love it. Yeah, this is the thing about Comicsgate as well. Like you have to just anyone who's involved with Comicsgate is going to face trouble. So it really you have to be brave. And when people dip out, they go, "This isn't for me. This is." You have to just respect that and just go, "Oh, I understand. See ya." Um, because you are going to face trouble for some reason. This industry is so sick and so toxic that it cannot tolerate dissent. It cannot tolerate people saying we're going to go a different way because they're so firm. They're set in their ways. They're going in this direction. They're going in this kind of social justice, kind of far lefty kind of direction, and that's where they're going to go. And they need everyone to get in line. It seems like so. We just simply say no, thank you, and we're not fighting from within. We're just going to do our own thing from without, if you don't mind, leave us be? And the answer is no, we're not going to leave you be. Now, that's why it's so sick. So people, who decide to kind of dip out, I have to respect that. I think the people who stay in are going to be, they're going to do great. I mean, at the end of the day, the rewards, people who take chances, um, on the ground floor are the ones who actually are rewarded the most. So I encourage those who have thin skin and are weak of heart to absolutely go away. These comic book nerds, these weirdos, are going to make your life hell, and it doesn't make any sense. It's not fair. It's stupid, but it is the way it's going to go. And that's the whole thing. So. Um, Yeah. By the way, rest in peace, Burt Reynolds. That was
Oh
sad.
yeah, yeah.
We met him. We met him.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, Andrea and I. He did a convention in Philadelphia, and Andrea and I went and stood in line for him. Actually, it was a Wizard World convention, and the turnout for his to get his autograph was incredible. He looked very sickly and thin. He was wearing pink, like kind of rose-colored sunglasses indoors, and the sight of him worried me because I love Boogie Nights. I've seen Boogie Nights. It's one of my favorite movies. I think I've seen it 100 times.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah, it was one of those movies that I liked the characters so much that, like, everyone in that movie I became a fan of. But I liked the characters so much, I would just put it on and then just draw, and I'd watch it almost like every day for a little while. I don't know why. It just made my mind go to sleep and focus on my work. You can't explain that to people. Andrew's like, why are you watching like the same shark documentary over and over again? I don't know. Whatever it is to make you focus, that you don't have to look up at the screen. You've seen it so many times.
For me, it's a wrestling documentary called Beyond the Mat. I love it. It's like old WWE and a lot of indie stuff. I know a couple of indie wrestlers.
Hmm.
Yeah, like literally they'll wrestle for like $25 a night or something, and just struggling to make, but they love the business
It's
so
a
much.
real documentary. It's like a
Oh yeah,
documentary about it.
Beyond
Okay.
the Mat. It's on Amazon. It's amazing. Yeah. Oh yeah. Some I see people in the chat. They know about it because I was like, yeah, Mick Foley, The Rock. You see all these people in there. You really get to see behind the scenes and everything about how the business is done, especially on an indie level. When you got Jake the Snake Roberts refusing to go on unless they get him like an 8 ball of coke. You know,
Oh my God.
it's an amazing wrestling documentary. It's one of the best I've ever seen. It's called Beyond the Mat. Yeah, it's incredible.
I'm gonna watch that because that sounds interesting to me. It
Oh yeah.
again, wrestling and comics are closely tied together. I think people's careers have the same kind of arc, for the most part. It's like you're working, you have your moment of glory. I watched the movie The Wrestler. And that
Oh
was
yeah, yeah, yeah. Was it Mickey Rourke? Yeah,
yeah, yeah, great movie. I think I still have it over there somewhere in my incredibly huge DVD collection. But I dig that out and watch that again.
yeah. They
Um,
tried to get Nick Cage to play it because they had already cast Mickey Rourke, and then they were like, he's not big enough, and then they were gonna dump him and get Nick Cage, and Nick Cage just knew that Rourke would be, that would be a like a career changing performance for him.
mhm.
He didn't want to. He was like, "No, I can't do that to him." And so he bowed out, and they kept Rourke, and obviously he got nominated for an Oscar for that. It was an incredible movie.
It was just fantastic. Yeah, and it was so depressing and sad, and I could relate to it. I could relate to, just doing conventions because I think when that movie came out, I was doing conventions all the time, and I kind of had walked away from DC Comics for about 2 years. They were trying to get me to do stuff, and I was like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do it. I don't know. I was depressed after Flash Rebirth, so I was making a living doing conventions. They offered me Superman with the New 52, and I said no. I was like, I don't think so. Dan's like, you work with Grant Morrison. You can do. I was like, I don't
Man,
want to
you
do
might
that.
have had everything you touched over there was like epic stuff, though. So I
I
can
think I
only
made the right choice,
imagine.
Antonio. If you look at the New 52 Superman, I have zero interest in drawing that Superman with the rolled up jeans,
Yeah,
the
that
cuff
was weird.
jeans. I had no interest. Like, you give me real Superman, and then that's a different story. But like these weirdo kind of like versions of Superman, I didn't dig it, and I didn't
Soy
really want to do
Superman.
it.
I was like,
Yeah, it wasn't soy. It was just fake. It
I
was
didn't
like
like that. When they took, and then of course, they Bendis is bringing back. He's like, hey, I'm bringing back the tights. And it was just, yeah. I was like, okay.
yeah, finally. Yeah, that's everything reverts back to normal, they say. At least at DC it does. I don't know if it does at Marvel because like they don't want to the elasticity is gone out of Marvel. It's just kind of like now that when they make a mistake they don't want to admit it. When the fans turn away they don't seem to want to admit it. At least at DC they look at the numbers and go, we better figure something out. Marvel doesn't seem to want to do that. It's
Yeah.
weird. Let me read these super chats. Billy Ritchie, $1.99. Thank you. Just made a High Council trailer on Twitter. Kin Patsu, thanks for 200 yen. It's kind of you. Schwanz Gruberman, thanks for Australian $5. Which would you say? Which would you say are the strongest rings out of the lanterns? By the way, sorry I haven't bought the book, but I love your stuff. Well, there's still time, Schwanz. Apparently, Cyberfrog has gone to an on-demand thing, and I'm gonna have to get it taken down. But I might leave it up for another week on demand because people are saying, can it just get to 100 so we can get the chromium cover? It's pretty close. So the link is in the description. If you haven't yet bought Cyberfrog Blood Honey, the link's in the description below. There's still time to do that. I think it's at almost 86,000, so we're close to 100. And also Antonio's book Brand is also linked in the description. Go support Brand. It's at 28. Let me see.
Yeah, I know we got about 1,500 to crack that 30K. So
Yeah. Why did I like click? My computer's acting fine. I just bought this computer and it's already giving me hell. $28,454 right now. Go support, Brand. Kick a little support Antonio's way. Buy his book. It looks good. So your question, which would you say are the strongest rings out of the lanterns? Well, I always, people ask that question and I say, if I had a choice, I would choose to be a Green Lantern every time. Every time. It just seems like the best ring. Every other ring seems to come with consequences, like negative consequences.
oh,
Well,
I
the
like the
blue
Yellow Lantern.
Yellow Lantern's good, but you have to instill terror in people in order for it to work. So I don't want to terrorize the world, or do I? Or
No,
do I?
I'm having Kanan do a Dark Santana piece with Santana as a Yellow Lantern with Horus and a couple of Reapers. Oh,
Yeah.
this I was like, it's gonna be incredible when he does it, but it's gonna be a while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds cool. So the rings, I would say green and yellow are probably the most powerful. Red Lantern comes with extreme consequences, Antonio. If you take the Red Lantern ring, you are poisoning your soul. So you're going to be powerful. You're going to get revenge. but the psychic consequences are too great. Obviously, there's only one Orange Lantern ring, and I don't want it. It's avarice, it's greed. I don't want the Star Sapphire ring at all. The Indigo, the Indiegogo Lantern tribe, the Indigo tribe. Uh, yeah, I never, I got to be honest, I don't even know. I haven't read any of what Jeff did with the Indigo Lanterns, so I don't know where he landed. But when we were initially talking about the Indigo Lanterns, I said, look, these people, in order to get an Indigo ring, you have to sacrifice everything that you have. You have to sacrifice everything that you are. You have to devote yourself to helping other people with no reward. I mean, you have to literally just give of yourself all the time. Now, I think Jeff did something kind of weirder with that and made it a little bit more negative. But I haven't, I didn't, I wasn't reading it at the time, so I don't know what he ended up doing. And yeah, the Blue Lanterns are just kind of, they seem like an addendum to the Green Lantern ring. So I'd be a Green Lantern. Now, I remember getting into an argument with what's his name, who was writing Green Lantern, Sam Humphries.
Mm.
Sam Humphries. Wow, this is comic book talk this morning. Do you guys mind in the chat? Are you bored by comic book talk? This
No,
this
we
is
need
geeky.
drama and
They might prefer this. They might prefer this to the Comics Gate drama, but yeah, this is definitely nerdy talk here. Yeah, so Sam Humphries and I had an argument because Sam wanted to create something called the Phantom Lanterns. And I said, okay, so we got into a conversation. Sam Humphries and I did not get along. Not personally, we did for a little while until November 9th. By the way, November 9th, Sam Humphries cut me off. November 9th, 2016. Forget it. We were not friends. And we were friends before, but they were trying to make us work together, and we just weren't working together. Like, I disagreed with all of his ideas about Green Lantern, all of them. I would all be like, no, it doesn't. No, Sam would be like, okay, so the Phantom Lantern ring, what it does is it can imitate any of the rings. And I was like, well,
that's the point.
like what? I was like, okay, so you know, why would anybody, if you had the power to use any of the rings, why would you ever be anything other than a Green Lantern? He's like, because you could be a Red Lantern if you want. Yeah, but why would you do that? Like, the rings all basically do the same thing. There's some mild differences between, minor differences between what the rings can do. But they all basically do the same thing at, you know, a cost to your energy, to your kind of emotional or motivational strength. But, why would you ever choose to use your ring based on terror? Why would you ever do that? And he was just like, because you could be, no, like, I feel like there's no reason to be anything other than a Green Lantern if that's what you can be. If you can be a Green Lantern, be a Green Lantern. Not everybody can be a Green Lantern, which is why there are other rings on the spectrum. But we got in a fight about that, and it was like it was a fight with the editors on the phone. Uh, and I just said, look, I'll design it, and I designed the logo, and I just kind of said, well, I'll bow out. Let him do what he wants to do. I already said what I said. I mean, you wanted to get me involved. You wanted to get me involved to create a new ring, and my idea was, what was it? I had a whole different thing. I said, you put the ring on, and basically what it does is it turns you uh, translucent. It makes you look, I mean, you're going to have a costume, but it's not a colored costume. It doesn't look like any of the lantern rings. You're going to look like one of those jellyfish that lives way deep, deep, deep underwater with lights on it, but it's like
Translucent.
yeah, it's like translucent, and it has a kind of bioluminescence. And I did a design like that. I said, that's what the Phantom Lanterns look like. What do they do? And I had an idea for what the ring does, but I can't even recall what it was. It was just something. Yeah, it was just something else. Somebody says, it turns you trans. No,
Yeah.
translucent. Maybe it turns you trans. That might be, that might be
I like
something.
it. It turns you trans. Hi-yo.
Yeah, don't know. I don't know, but I had some ideas to try to help out. I think they were all rejected, but Sam just kind of was like, no, it's And I was like, okay, all right, I got it. You work this out with them. And I got on the phone with the editors. I said, what are you saying? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. You know that, right? And they're like, yeah, I was like, okay, like it just doesn't make any sense. Like there's no reason to ever want to be anything else. Like that's a weird dial H for hero kind of idea that doesn't work with the Green Lanterns. And they said, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and I said, okay, clapped out. I clapped out like one of those dealers in Vegas, you know.
Oh man, that sounds funny. That's just you
That's
never
how
know.
it is. Yeah. I do want to be stunning and brave, Toad UK. All right. So I hope that answers your question satisfactorily, Schwans Gruberman. And thank you for your support. I really appreciate you. Elliot Fernandez is in sent me a super chat for $2. Get these books fulfilled, and the talent will come. Well, um, yeah, that's correct. I'm actually I got a lot of stuff lined up. I got a lot of stuff in the works that's going to make this more. Now, people again, people are just like, hey, what happens with Alterna? Blah blah blah. Alterna has to rely on its own talent. They have to do great books. They just have to do great books. And that'll do it. I mean, the price point alone is not enough. People will pay $1.50 to try out your book, but dude, they'll pay $10 to keep reading something that they're really into. Price doesn't matter as much as you think it does. How much does a Harry Potter hardcover book cost? $25? And kids all bought
Hardcover,
it.
yeah, hardcover, yeah, yeah.
When that came out, they had to have the first edition. Kids will pay, as long as it's great, and they have to have it, and you're giving them their money's worth, and you're giving them a good time. Price it's not really an issue. It's nice, but do great work, and I think you can ask for the moon. So, that's that thing. I'm when it comes to charging $1.50 for a comic book, if you can make it work, that's fine. But those margins have got to be razor thin, and really you want to be able to pay your talent something. So we'll see how that goes. But as for us, I mean, I'm dependent. Everyone who is doing these books, I'm depending on them to do great work. I'm depending on my own work to see me through this, and to succeed, to do better, to grow. I know Brand is going to be excellent.
Man, yeah, that's one thing that excites me. When we were on the Aloha Hour with Edwin and John Malin and Mike, and when we got off the air, me and Kanan, we kept talking for like 3 hours after we got off the air, and I was just laying down how everything kind of how the first few pages and everything happen and certain little plot points and everything. And Kanan is blown away. It's like he's enthusiastic. Every time I tell him the idea, he's like, man, that just sounds incredible. Wow. And it gets me excited to like explain the concepts to him and stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that's exactly right. When you have that buzz, you know what I mean. When you just got excited, like, you get excited about what you're doing. That's when you know something good is about to happen. I wake up every day. I tell you that I'm so glad the Jawbreakers cover's done. That was in my way. It was like, oh god, I got to work on this a little bit more, and it was something else. But it's out of the way. Let's get Cyberfrog finished. Let's get it out the door. Let's get these books to the printer. People are quite right. It's like Zero Depressive says, and to fulfill the orders. I'm taking a meeting on Monday. I can't tell you too much about the meeting.
Yeah, I'm excited about the meeting though.
You know about it, right? I think I
Yeah,
told you.
yeah.
Okay.
I was, yeah. Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
All
very
right. So yeah, things are happening. Here's what it feels like right now. It feels like we need to get a foothold, like somewhere. We need to just get a foothold, and plant our feet. And that's going to come with fulfilling the order. Certainly, people are going to see what the books look like, and they're going to see that we're serious. I think Jawbreakers is good. Well, did Iron Sights come out yet, or it's coming out? It's at the printer. Jawbreakers, now that he's got my cover, I may have held it up. I hope I didn't. But he's got the cover. Jawbreakers is coming out. Those are going to be the first two out, and then I think I might be the next one. When are you coming out?
Brand is scheduled to be released in January.
Okay.
And, we're pretty confident we can make that as long as, like I said, the deposit is coming within the next, I think about next 10 days. and that'll be enough to get everything on get the ball rolling. And I'm actually, if it keeps going like this, I actually thought about either taking a leave from my job or maybe even just quit, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm starting to get a little burned out. I've been at my job almost 6 years. And I'm kind of like, I want
Your
to do a
regular
little,
job, you mean you want to
yeah,
jump off and do
yeah,
comics full time?
yeah. And I
Yeah,
was
we
like,
got to make that possible somehow. That's the thing. We got to do that. I think we can do it. I think we can
yeah.
do it.
Yeah, like I said, the money's coming in so quick, and I'm sitting there going, man, this is yeah, it'd be a lot better, and be able to, getting close to getting my YouTube to the point where I'll be able to get it monetized and stuff, and have that,
Hmm.
that's yeah. I was like, man, every time I'm at work, I feel like I'm losing money because I could be streaming.
You could be streaming and selling your comic book.
Yeah.
Absolutely. By the way, if you want to support a brand by Antonio Bryce and Kanan White. Kanan White, what a great artist.
He is in the chat, by the way. So
Oh, hey, Kanan, how you doing? There he is. Hey, Kanan, what's up? Uh, yeah, you're at $28,477. Looks like you sold another couple copies. Guys, yeah, I mean, the link is in the description. Let's see if we can get him to 29 today. Even 30. Can you imagine if we got to $30,000 even today? That would be a nice day. That'd be a good thing. Anyway, the link is in the description. Go back brand by Antonio Bryce, my co-host, and Kanan White. I think that would be a great thing to do. Also, Cyberfrog is there. The Cyberfrog Salamandroid variant cover is still there, by popular demand. In demand. We are at 85,988 right now. We're trying to get to 100. We're trying to get to 100,000 before this thing goes to print. We'll print these things up, these variant covers. We'll print them in chromium if we can get there. But we already surpassed our first stretch goal. We only had two stretch goals this time. One of them was to 50,000 to give $10,000 to the Orchid Cancer charity for men. And then this other one is 100,000. If we reach it, we're gonna print the cover in chromium, and if we don't, it'll still look nice. It just won't look chromium, and that is that's a thing. That's an issue. You want your book to be chromium if possible.
I can't afford that.
Man of Action is like financial advisors for both of you. Man of Action, I want you to understand. I don't even know this money is. We do have. Well, I have a financial advisor. And we opened up what is it, S corp, and all of that stuff. Don't you worry. I'm not touching any of this money, and I never will touch this money.
Mhm.
It's like this money is sitting there in a bank, and it's being watched over like a hawk by tax attorneys and by Andrew has hired a bunch of CPAs and all that stuff. And yeah, we're going to be very careful with this. And by the way, the taxes are important because there's a crazy new, and I don't understand it because I hate dealing with money. But there's a crazy new state income tax for crowdfunding that Trump signed into law.
Oh wow.
Uh, what the hell? Yeah, it's going to add up to a couple tens of thousands of dollars here for us. So that sucks. Um, Yeah, really, I think this first one, I don't know how much we're going to clear in terms of profit, but probably not as much as you would think. And we're just going to move on to Rainbow Brute and see how Rainbow Brute does. But getting this fulfilled, finding a way to do this and make this work is going to be the main thing. It's going to be the main thing. Tell Antonio about his first million. Yeah, Antonio is going to be a millionaire.
I'm
Cam
dreaming. I-
yeah. I think he will. I think everyone who's involved with this right from the ground floor is going to do really well. I don't know about millionaires, but I think everybody's going to do really, really well. I do.
I think I'm gonna be making more than I'm making at my current job, and I have a decent job, but I'd like to make more money than I'm making now. So,
Yeah, yeah. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Cam says set up your corporation in Delaware. Yeah, my dad did that. Yeah, he did that. Don't worry. We got it. Again, we you got to believe us. We have smart people. You don't need to tell me. My dad said that it made more sense to set up the S corp. Initially, it was an LLC. It became an S corp in Delaware, et cetera, et cetera. I know Trump. Yeah, but there's something. I know Trump is federal, not state. I know. I know. Let me get back to you about that. Let me find out exactly what this is. But yeah, somebody said something about Trump signing something into law, some new tax law that has to do with crowdfunding, and it hits people on a state to state basis. It is federal, but each state pays a different rate, something like that. Yeah. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, and I'll let you know. Again, that stuff. When people talk about that, my eyes roll the back of my head. That's all Andrea. Andrea understands that stuff. She's good at it. I am entirely creative. I live in fairyland with Rainbow Brute and Cyberfrog. So I handle the creative, and I let everyone else handle the money. Yeah. Hi. Uh, keep all your money offshore. I don't have that kind of money. Not yet, but we will. We will. Kanan and Antonio and I, with Brand and Cyberfrog, we're going to do just fine.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, so this is our day. We're going to move forward today. We're going to keep these shows short today. Have we been running for an hour? Was it charming? Was it nice? I think we were up for an hour, more or less.
Yeah, we've been putting that work in.
Yeah, I got to get right to work. I mean, these live streams go way too long. Listen, I've received criticism. People don't like the longer live streams. They feel like they have to watch them. They feel like they have to watch them after they. I'm like, my whole thing is, I'm always kind of like, wait a second, like it was really just meant to be a live experience. You could just be there and tune us in. Like, this is how I think of it. I'm thinking, I don't know, just if you want to listen to us while we're talking, like while we're doing it, that's cool. But people see that, look, there's a 3 hour, 49 minute, and 41 second live stream, and 2 of them per day. There's one in the morning and there's one going on at night. That's 7 hours worth of product that people feel like they have to listen to in order to keep up with Comic Artist Pro Secrets. And I get that. Like, I completely understand that. That people would be concerned about having to watch all this stuff back, but I never really think about that. It's like, if I miss the Howard Stern show, or if I miss a radio show, then I miss the radio show.
Yeah, I always feel like if the show is good, nobody cares how long it is.
I think the show was good yesterday, but everybody found it tense. I found it fascinating. I was really interested in
shocked.
Everything that was going on.
Yeah, I was like, let me just let these people keep talking.
Yeah. I mean, there was actual emotion. Like, so much of these wow, so many of these, like, live streams are just people kind of talking and just trying to fill airtime, and they don't really have anything to say. They're just talking. When we're doing these lately, you're experiencing real time, actual, like, people who are feeling real things, because, like, Comicsgate is it's a whirlwind. I mean, it's a whirlwind. And so, talking to, the Brightwisers about it, talking to Nasser about how he feels about it, Rokabir Kumar, and everything that he's up to. I mean, all of this stuff is intensely fascinating to me, because it's real. This isn't just fake reality TV stuff. These are people who have put themselves on the line for a principle about comic books. All of it is, like, so absurd and yet so amazing, and I could listen to people talk all the time. Yeah, and again, I was just like, everyone. And then when yesterday, with the debate between Rokabir Kumar, the confrontation between him and the other guy whose name I will not mention, those guys were both attacking each other like dogs, and that was real. And for me to have to step in and go, all right, everyone, one at a time. I just want to get everyone's story on the record, like what everyone has to say on the record, so that people can hear it and make up their minds for themselves. That was about as real of a radio drama. You know what I mean? That was real radio, real talk.
Well, yeah, the views definitely were reflective of that, I can say. So
Yeah. I mean, we actually got some. I mean, for someone to just admit outright that they hold racist views.
Well, he said, everybody does. But I mean, yeah.
That, well, it just, like, well, I mean, everybody holding racist views. I mean, I don't know about that. I think everyone's a little bit tribal. I think that's true.
I think so.
but to actually deliberately hold a credo like that, like be like, hey, this is what I believe, that's a different thing. That's a different thing entirely. And like him, for him to be out there and just admit that to people, and then the argument or the conflict that comes with that,
Mm.
I don't know, like, I was compelled by it. I was fascinated by it, and I almost just wanted to, like, I was caught between this instinct to stop running the show, to just stop and say, "That's it, it's over," and then just cut it off, and I thought that would be cowardly. Like, it's almost like a documentarian's kind of duty, like, you have to just aim your camera at it and just keep going,
Yeah, I
and
noticed the numbers in the chat just kept going up though. It looked like you got up to like 1,900 people. I was like, oh my God. It was just
yeah.
you were doing numbers. I
Well,
was
somebody's like, "Nobody wants to listen to this." I'm like, "That's not what the numbers were showing." Like
yeah,
that.
somebody was watching. Yeah, the replays and the shares, and yeah, it was people were talking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I
Mm.
mean, on the one hand, is that the purpose of my channel? Well, my channel, is whatever I'm into at any given moment. Sometimes it's Star Wars, sometimes I want to talk about comics, other times I just want to talk about family stuff. I want to review toys. And right now, this is a very serious thing that I'm into. Now, is it entertaining? That's the real question. Is it entertaining to people? Or are they tuning in and they're just uncomfortable and they're tuning in out of a duty to me? These are all things that I was wrestling with last night. I was just thinking, because this show is important to me. My YouTube channel is very, very important to me, and I don't want it to become something that is a negative ever. It's got to always be fun. By the way, I did receive criticism, like, we want more of the 10-minute shorts that you do, and I'm like, well, I'll do those again. So absolutely, I put up a new 10-minute short on Star Wars. I will continue to do that for people that's all they want from the channel. But yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah. Yeah, I definitely like the morning show though. I see some people saying like at least 1 or 2 hours. That's not bad. Like Regis and Kelly or something. Just like kind of get in, get out. But
mhm.
but yeah, I definitely want to keep doing this. I enjoy. I look forward to getting that link and hopping in here and chopping it up with you, man, and chopping it up with everybody in the chat. I like that. So this is. I hope
I
this keeps going for a while.
It's never felt really bad to me. Like, everything that I've done I've been comfortable with. But like, I've never been like, oh, that was a misstep. Have I? Maybe a couple minor things I felt like, I've received a little backlash for. And I always watch Zach, like Zach's Diversity in Comics channel. He would say, well, I did that yesterday, and believe me, I heard what you guys had to say, and that's it for that. We're cutting that off right there. We're not going to do that anymore. And I think he said that particularly about movie reviews. Like, people hate his movie reviews. So he said, I won't be reviewing movies anymore.
He has horrible taste in movies, but it's fun.
So
I was like, and I like Zach. I was like,
yeah.
Zach.
So I mean, that's I'm just like, well, I wonder if I'm like that. Am I like, I gotta keep my ear to the ground. And if the audience says no, like, stop doing that, do I just stop doing it? I guess in a way, like, yeah, I gotta stop doing that if they don't like it. But the show has never felt like awful to me. And yesterday's morning show, um, uh, you know, was really, really compelling. Medicare came on, but Medicare was bored. However,
Got in and got out. I was like, oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's like, I don't want to deal with these people. I don't want to deal with the honey badgers. He doesn't like the honey badgers.
yeah.
And I'm hearing like crazy stuff. Either way. Like, some people are like, Ethan, really, like, the honey badgers, what they stand for. Like, you should really be supportive of it because this, and this. And then other people are like, no, they're grifters and scam artists, and you know, uh, trust us, etc. So how about this? How about if I just bow out? I it's way too. It's like, I don't want to form I don't care. Like, I don't want to form an opinion. Like, it's just not something I'm particularly interested in investing any time or thought into. I'll leave that up to other people. I mean, really, we've got a crowd here of people who are interested in buying our comics and supporting these creators. I think our philosophy about Comicsgate is awesome. I think the future looks bright for Comicsgate, and I think they think so too. Oh my
Oh
God,
yeah.
I really think the mainstream comic book industry is scared. I can't
I think they're
explain it any
afraid.
other
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, they're afraid. And I don't I think they're like, what do we do? What do we do?
Yeah,
We can't stop them.
yeah. Um, Yeah, everyone, wow. What's the chat saying at this point? They're saying uh Zach's Mission Impossible show was pretty meta. Uh Medicare is a man with raging PMS, says Emperor Caleb Teen. Uh Fan fiction production said I laughed when Jim came in and bounced the hell out. Um yeah. Yeah, agreed. Ignore. Cokeman says just ignore him. Yeah, I'm going to. Chris Abrams says, please, Caesar, bow out. Leave this alone. Do you mean the honey badgers? Yeah. Okay. All right. And then Joseph Meager, on the other hand, says, I'm very proud of the help you gave Allison. Well, I think that's what I could do, Joseph. I mean, I don't need to have her on all the time. Okay. Like, and I think I gave her good advice. And anyone who was listening, I think I gave good advice about, your attitude. When it comes, there's this pervasive thing with people, it's like, I've had a hard time. Please give me money. And people will go, oh, well, this person's had a hard time. What's in my wallet? But that's not sustainable. I mean, you really do want to stand on your own 2 feet, and you really do want to create something that you can market, that people will want to buy, that you don't have to guilt them into buying, that they actually want to buy because it's good. And if you can't do that, you can't do that. I mean, I'm not sure that you belong in comics. But I mean, you really do need to create something that people want to invest in. Ty C. White Draws said, Ethan, EVS, lose row. I'm hurt to say I want my Cyberfrog money back. Well, Ty C. White, send me a message. I'll refund your money for that. And please let me know what the don't do it here, but let me know in particular what the issue is. Cam 1138 EVS, good point. You don't need to involve yourself in every battle on the internet. You've got comics and Star Wars, right? Cecil says Comicsgate has room for only one grifter as far as I'm concerned, and that's Cecil. Cecil doesn't want to share that space, I mean, that's important to Cecil. That's his bread and butter. Yeah. And that is the American way. That's right, Looker. Let me read some of these super chats here again. Harry Bergeron says, he who dares wins. Yeah, and that's I think that's the truth. Like somebody said, somebody basically said, hey, yeah, we know that everybody's been doing this for 200 years, horses and buggies, carriages, but what if like we didn't need a horse? What if we created an engine? And that, everyone made fun, everybody pointed and laughed, and then everyone drove AMC Pacers. Yeah, and that was the guy who created the automobile. AMC. His name was AMC Pacer. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Okay, that's a true fact. Marshall Lee, thanks for $2. Love everyone, but it's nice to have two voices now. Yeah, too many voices. I just sent the link to Antoine this morning.
Oh Lord.
Normally I send it to everyone. I just went, it's just me and you today. The Stephen 4X, we want chromium, Uncle Ethan. Here's a Tico cocktail on me. That Tico cocktail was good. I kind of, it was very, it smelled like aftershave. Yeah, Antonio, look, I went to an airport in Florida, and the bartender. I was doing a live stream, and the bartender was kind of talking to me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm live streaming. I'm talking to I'm talking to Comic Artist Pro Secrets subs, and we were talking about Rose Tico, and I had a Rose Tico action figure, and I actually asked the guy to go ahead and make me a drink based on Rose Tico, and he did. He made me a Rose Tico cocktail, and it was great. Oh, did I call him Antoine? I keep doing that.
No, Mike did it to you, man. The whole chat's been going crazy. Like I told Mike, I was like, Mike, why are you calling me Antoine? And he kept calling, and then everybody in the chat's like, Antoine. I was like, oh man, oh God.
All right. Well, it's Antonio. I know better than that. But sometimes I see Antonio in print. I see his name here, and I say Antoine. So my bad. Sorry,
or
Antonio.
Sexual chocolate. Yeah, that is.
Antoine is a cool name. It's just is it your name just rearranged or no? There's an extra E. Antonio. Extra E in there. Okay. Anyway, Siobhan's Gooberman again, $5. Just got Cyberfrog now. Cheers for all the streams and banter. Oh, and could you please help me settle an argument? Spawn versus Ghost Rider. Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a good match right there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I gotta say Ghost Rider.
I would say Ghost Rider, but the way Todd's got Spawn so overpowered, because he literally admitted that he created him where he could change his powers at will. So if he wanted to do like Superman type stories, he could do Superman stuff. If he wanted to do more like Doctor Strange metaphysical stuff, he could do that. So he literally has Spawn so overpowered where he can be like, "Oh, I'll just adapt his powers so he could do this," you know. So,
Yeah. Well, Spawn had. Remember when Spawn was limited? Like he had a countdown clock. Like
yeah. And
he could
then he
only.
went down to hell and became the Lord of Hell, and then yeah, it was just everything was happening. So
It's silly. Well, I'd say Ghost Rider. I would say Ghost Rider still. I just think he's
I love Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider is,
mm.
and I'm talking about like now. Some people, I saw some people debating on a forum I was on, and they were like, is it Danny Ketch or is it Johnny Blaze? And I'm like a Johnny Blaze guy, but I like Danny Ketch actually.
I like them both. I never saw a problem with Danny Catch coming in and taking over. But yeah, obviously the original and even the original Ghost Rider I think is cool. The Western.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Which I guess they call Phantom Rider now or whatever.
Oh, is he still in? Like, does he still exist?
Every now and again he pops up. I've seen, but yeah, I know they call him the Phantom Rider, and I've seen versions where he's actually the old Ghost Rider on a horse, or he's a human in some kind of luminescent suit.
Hmm.
So yeah, they've had like different versions.
I've wanted to do Ghost Rider for so long.
Oh man, that would be
Antonio, just give me that character. I mean, I see what they're doing with him, and I just want to make it a very simple kind of Jack Chick track morality show where it's like, you know, explain away his origin. Um, oh man, I would love to do that. I would love
I'd
to
love
do
to
that.
see you on like New Warriors. I'd like to see you on like New Warriors with Night Thrasher back. Like,
Yeah, I wouldn't be interested. Like none of
no,
that. There's only a couple things that I still want to do in mainstream comics. Like Ghost Rider is one, the Hulk is one. I think I'm
ooh,
done with DC characters. I've done them all. Like, what would I want to do if I went back to DC? And they were
so
saying
no image stuff.
Aquaman. I don't want to draw Aquaman.
Would you do like say Dale Keown's Pit? That I always love Pit.
Yeah. I like Pitt too. Yeah, Pitt wanted if Dale wanted to bring Pitt back and we did it like through Indiegogo and
Oh wow.
Cyberfrog Pitt crossover would be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Ooh, that would be. Oh man, take my money now.
Yeah, we could get.
That
I
would
don't
be
see why. I
awesome.
mean, they got Sam Keith came back with the Max, and it just seems like yeah, it could happen. Could happen. I don't see why Dale Keown couldn't come with us. I don't know what he's doing now. I'm not sure if he's still working for Top Cow or what he's up to.
I thought I had read he had had some health problems a few years ago, but
Oh
that
man,
like I said, that was a while back, so I don't know.
yeah, I don't have anything at DC that I want to do. To be honest with you, I need a long break from DC before I'm like, hey, I have a Superman. I have energy towards Superman or Green Lantern or the Flash. Like the last few issues I did of Hal Jordan were like a grind. It was like, oh, I'm so done with this. But I mean, I love DC. I love all the characters. I don't have any. Like it used to be, I'd wake up and I'd go, yeah, like here's the Flash. Here's what this is what he should look like. This is what this is how to draw him in a new way. I don't have that going on with DC characters. I have it with Ghost Rider. I have it with the Hulk, and that's it. Like I think that's it. That's all I want to do.
So what? Let me ask you this. Okay, so you remember when Alan Moore went to Extreme Studios and he started writing Supreme? You know, he actually won like an Eisner for that. So I would love to see you team with like someone like Alan Moore on like maybe a book like Glory that Rob Liefeld used to publish or something like that. Well, obviously, all his characters were like ripoffs of like Wonder Woman and these, but I would love to see like Alan Moore write like Glory and you do the pencils and inks and everything. That would be awesome.
I would work with Rob Liefeld. That'd be fun. I would do that. I would do young. I see. I'm just at this age now where everything needs to just be super fun, and like the image stuff. I feel like I feel like returning back to the '90s again, because the '90s were sunny and positive, and everybody was making money, and everybody was happy, and now everybody's just miserable and grouchy little moral scolds with blue hair. I'm so sick of it. every time I see pictures of people in comics, I'm like, what's going on? How did these people get into comics? These women who shave their heads and then dye it pink. It's like, what is going on exactly? These people don't read comics. They don't read superhero comics. Why are they making decisions based on superhero comics? Superhero comics are read by fat guys. That's basically it. They're fat nerds. Where are those guys? And
Here.
yeah, I know, right? We're here. We're all here. Uh, those guys are being co-opted and controlled by like blue-haired weirdos, and it's like, you know, they just don't want to be called names. So yeah, of course, we need diversity. We're implementing a new policy for diversity and inclusion. Oh my God. I mean, how can you create anything? How can you create anything when you have a quota in mind? How can you create anything of value, of substance that's genuine when you have Warner Brothers or any of these companies talking about a diversity and inclusion quota? How
So
can you?
somebody asked me something about that. Now, I actually had a pretty what I thought was a pretty reasoned response. My job, there's signs in the building where they say we are a proud affirmative action company. So they have those signs like when you're going in and out the door, all this kind of
Jesus.
thing. Okay, so they hired someone and he'd been in the army for like 12 years. He went through the GI Bill, got his little degrees and everything. He came out. Nice guy. He was black man. Um, he was very confused when he was trying to accomplish his job tasks. He couldn't, we're very technical there. There's a lot of computers, all this kind of stuff. He just seemed like he got real lost. And then everybody was afraid to actually, I was saying, hey, this he can't do the job. And everybody was looking at me and they were shocked because there were some of my white coworkers, they were afraid to say anything because if you actually tell the truth and say he was not qualified and he couldn't do the job, you're racist.
Mhm.
And then when I said it, they go, yeah, he's really bad. So all of a sudden they're like, well, Antonio's black, so he's saying he's not qualified, so it's okay. I was like, you can't just bring someone in just because oh, we need a woman, we need a black person, you need some other minority. If they're not qualified to do
Yeah.
the job, it makes and eventually they just finally got tired of it and they blew him out of there. And I was like, that's a whole waste of time to sit there and do that, and it made the company suffer because of it.
Mm.
I hate to see stuff like that. I was like, do I want inclusion and I want the door to be open for everybody? Yes. But those people that you bring in, they have to be qualified. They have to be able to do the job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, to even use the phrase affirmative action now and said we're proudly affirmative action, that's a scary thing to me. That's like, isn't that kind of like something that's been kind of debunked at this point, like as a bad idea? And it's like, obviously you know you should hire people equally based on merit. But yeah, to be like, hey, we are going to, if you are a POC or a woman, or we're going to put you ahead of the line. I don't know. I'm troubled by that. I ultimately, I don't care. It has nothing to do with me, but it just seems like a bad idea, and it seems like it's going to sow even worse things. You're going to reap even worse things from that. So, um, yeah. Oh, so look at this. Hey, hi, Uncle E. Oh, and hi, Antoine. Sorry, I had to. Says Zero the red shirt. Thank you so much. Um, Chris W. Yup, that's the very last thing SJWs have to complain about is that fulfillment hasn't happened yet. After that, hashtag winning. Yeah, until we do the next one. We gotta. Uh, so it's gonna fulfill. Rainbow Brute has to do very well. If Rainbow Brute doesn't do well, then that's gonna be embarrassing. But I think it's gonna do okay. They'll say, "See, it was only a matter of time before people stop wanting to." Okay, we'll see. Elliot Fernandez, $2. By the way, I think Antonio beats me with sexiest voice. How do you like that? Antonio has the sexiest voice.
Oh
Uh,
man.
yeah. Yeah, Elliot has a great voice. He was talking while he was drawing, and he had that kind of like sleepy kind of I'm preoccupied working on this drawing, but I can still. It's kind of like, hey, I'm Elliot Fernandez. Yeah, I
Watching him ink that Cyberfrog was amazing. His inking skills were on par with yours, and I found your ink game incredible. And
Oh
I
no,
know it's just
listen,
like wow.
that Cyberfrog drawing, and he did it nice and quick. It was great. It's fantastic. I don't know what he's doing with it. We might want to publish it. I don't know.
Man, yeah, it
I mean,
looks
I should
incredible.
I should do more Cyberfrog just books where I just publish stuff. I just publish stuff. Like a lot, there's so many good pinups and everything. How do I do that? Do I do a Cyberfrog pinup book? I don't know. I don't think about it. Uh, fan fiction production. Congrats, Uncle E. Can you check my important email? People do this. They say I emailed you. Will you check it? Well, I mean, all right, I'll try. You do know I have 13,000 emails to go through, so I hope this was fairly recent. By the way, I just ordered the Lego Star Wars X-wing Starfighter building
Ooh.
kit. I think it's new. It says new Lego Star Wars. I don't know if that literally means it's new or not. I don't know why the X-wing came out like just new. But oh, here it is. Yep. Okay, we're all good fan fiction. Don't worry. Baron Barbados, $10 EVS. I know you and others are talking about collabing for books. Why not try the Shonen Jump method of reprinting previous chapters in black and white newspaper print? Maybe throw new material as well. What does that mean? Do you know what he's talking about? Reprinting previous chapters in black and white newspaper print?
Oh, what are those, man? I've seen those little. They're they're obviously cheaper because they're just in black and white. Marvel does that, and Marvel just they'll take like old classic Spider-Man or whatever and just reprint them in these little cheaper, just black and white like newsprint books. And you'll get a bunch of like old John Romita stuff, and it's just black and white and just meant to be enjoyed.
Yeah,
It's like
we could do that. I mean, maybe I don't know. Huh, I mean, it just seems like it's more. Well, it'd be more expensive, but it would be kind of nice. It'd be kind of
with
cool.
just black and white newsprint.
Well, no, he's saying reprinting previous chapters in black and white newspaper print. Does he mean in the same book? So, in other words, it's like you get an issue of Cyberfrog, and it's like the issue prior to it is presented in the front black and white newsprint, and
Oh, I
then
thought he
you.
was talking about like a old, just a like a weird like trade paperback or
Oh
whatever that you could offer as an aside to it or upgrade perk.
no, they're okay. Yeah, they're saying the phone book CVS. So
Yeah.
he means yeah, just reprint them all. Well, yeah, all that stuff is going to have to get reprinted. This conversation I'm going to have on Monday is going to solve a lot of that. You know, Lucas Hardwick, which actor would you choose to voice Cyberfrog in an animated series? Uh, I don't know. Somebody said Christopher Walken the other day. I thought that was
Oh,
interesting. I was
yeah.
like, that's kind of weird.
I thought you said he kind of sounded like one of the Jerky Boys though. So
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Somebody with a heavy. Oh, you know who would be good? Uh, Dennis Leary would be good.
ooh, I like Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary would be a good Cyberfrog voice. I think somebody mentioned him as well. That's a nice Philadelphian kind of accent there that would sound. He can do Philadelphian. That'd sound pretty good. Cyberfrog is no longer a New Yorker. He's now from Jersey. He's from Camden, New
Awesome.
Jersey. So he's got a Philadelphian accent. Cars in depth, $5. How can I find out how much printing and fulfillment will cost? It's going to cost. It'll cost whatever it costs. Cars in depth. So you have to go to a printer and get and there are a lot of different printers and get a quote based on. Usually, it's like, hey, if you're going to print 100 copies of a book, they might cost you $2 a piece for just a regular book. But if you print 1,000, they're going to cost you $1.50, and that's kind of how it works. How much will the fulfillment cost? However much it costs to ship things out. You got to buy the cardboard container and make sure all the packing's there, and then you got to, your time and how much does it cost to mail. That's fulfillment. It's expensive. Fulfillment is a huge thing. Fulfillment, we have figured out, is going to cost us about $120,000.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how much. So I mean, remember that. I mean, this is all. It's expensive. This is an expensive process.
How much time, like if when you were talking about doing like the pack party stuff, I can imagine with like you've got to have at least 10,000 or more books that you got to pack and ship out. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm going to take that problem out of my hands. I'm
Yeah.
hiring a fulfillment service. People said, "Hey, Ethan, why would you spend time doing that when you could be spending time drawing your next thing?" And I went, because I want to, because it's no, 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 forget it. That doesn't make any sense. I need to be working on Rainbow Brute. Like all during that month when I was going to pack those things, I'm just hiring somebody to do it. Let's move forward and let's do the next thing. That would be good. Oathkeeper 3P, $2. Bring back the racist and the exciting badger lady. Oathkeeper 3P again, $10 for real though. Keep it light and fun. We have enough drama in our own lives. We come here to escape the heavy BS. I'm waiting on $900 worth of Comicsgate comics, and I've never held a comic book in my life. Damn, Oathkeeper, thank you for your support. That is outstanding. Thank you. Joe Marone, $5. Put the comic back in comic books. Make it fun. Yeah. Tim Riggs, $2. Just picked up Brand. Love the brutal look. It's great.
Yay.
Let's see how Brand is doing, by the way. Let me see where it was. So it was at 28,477. Let's get a little movement there. 28,660. That's great. Thank you. We're sold a few copies of Brand. Did Cyberfrog move anywhere? It was at 85,988. Let's see if anyone bought a Cyberfrog. We're now at $86,048. That's great. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate that. So it looks like we sold one copy or maybe two copies. Don't know. All right, where was I? Okay. Fan fiction production, $1.99. Thanks. Here's a tip for your awesome co-host. I owe you $1.99, Antonio.
Send me like a little snack cake or something, and I'll be okay.
Okay. Nico Slow Inhale says EVS face reveal we demand. Well, for some reason I thought my camera was on right now. No, because I do the face reveal and everybody goes, now turn the camera back off again. But what the heck, we'll do it anyway. All right, so here's me right now. Yay, hi. Love you, Kanan. Everyone loves Kanan White. Everybody loves Kanan White. They love him. They want to know if you want a Drake snack cake. Drakes are good, I think. Primark Sanguinius says, hey, Ethan, have you guys thought about doing more fantasy-oriented than science fiction comics? I like superheroes, but sci-fi and fantasy are my true loves. Well, it's not like we're doing this. We're not making these. Every individual is making choices. We're not a publisher. We're not a publisher. So, whoever wants to come and do that kind of a comic book can. Unsub for face reveal. Thanks a lot. No, actually subscribe if you can. I'm pretty close to, I will unreveal. I'm pretty close to, I don't know. I'm pretty close to 77,000. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe to the channel. Please do subscribe for future Star Wars content. Like Mike Zeroh says. By the way, somebody wrote like a nasty letter about Mike Zeroh. This is pissing me off. One of these guys, one of these Star Wars radio shows, the Star Wars community is almost as cruel as the comic book community. I mean, it's ridiculous. Let me see here. It's absolutely ridiculous. Ryan Johnson came out and he kind of bitch smacked Mike Zeroh, and Mike Zeroh.
I saw that.
Oh, he's just a YouTuber. I like Mike Zeroh. I like the things that he says. Look at this. This is crazy here. This is harassment. Channel Star Wars puts out this note that says an official statement. What is Channel Star Wars? Channel Star Wars, whoever you are, seriously, fuck you. They said last week, we didn't know who Mike Zeroh was before Ryan Johnson used his name as a metaphor for failure. Having familiarized ourselves. Can you imagine this? The audacity. Everyone's a bully. Everyone's like a bully out there right now. Having familiarized familiarized ourselves with the
There we
body of
go.
what he. That was hard to say. My brain did a little kind of quirk there. A little spark came loose. With the body of what he undoubtedly calls, quote, his work, we think he ought to be weeping with gratitude that Johnson even knows who he is, let alone used his name in a sentence. Zeroh's entire reason for living is to ride coattails to fame while making up stories about the people wearing the coat. That one of those people knows who he is and admitted it in a public forum will have been the high point of what he undoubtedly calls, quote unquote, his career. Don't feel bad for Zeroh getting called out by Johnson. Feel bad for Zeroh that this is the only reason he got called out at all. The Channel Star Wars team. What a bunch of a-holes. Hey, Channel Star Wars. What was that necessary? Well, let's remind ourselves of what Andrea said this morning. She said when choosing to make a statement like that, is it true? Second, is it necessary? Third, is it kind? This statement fails on all three counts. It is not
Thanks.
true that Mike Zeroh deserved this kind of abuse. It is not necessary for Channel Star Wars to dogpile on this kid. And third, it certainly is not kind. It's extremely unkind. It's extremely unkind for the Channel Star Wars team to pile on Mike Zeroh. I mean, look, Mike Zeroh is just a dude with a backwards baseball cap who sits there and goes, for future Star Wars content, be sure to subscribe. And then he basically hears rumors, and then he just passes off the rumors. That's what his channel is. I hear a rumor that Han Solo is coming back in Star Wars Episode 9, blah, blah, blah.
I heard Fleetwood Mac's rumors, and it's awesome.
Yeah, why don't people pick on Fleetwood Mac for their rumors?
Hey, they had a lot going on. I didn't realize all the different stuff. They was all
busy. They had a lot of good songs. If you listen to the best of Fleetwood Mac, you'll be like, oh my god, like they were really good. You find stuff out like that. It's like there are a lot of groups in the 70s that were. Now I'm listening to the Eagles because of you guys, and I don't like the Eagles, and I don't care what you say. I mean, I bought that Best of the Eagles album. No, I don't like it. I did listen to it though, and I went, yeah, I know all these songs. I hear them in the supermarket, and I tune them out.
But definitely watch Beyond the Mat, though. You'll enjoy
I will.
that.
That's a recommendation I will enjoy. But this Channel Star Wars team, basically, so Ryan Johnson just called out Mike Zeroh. He's just a little YouTuber and said, "How we make fun of him. Whenever we miss the basket, the waste paper basket, we say, ha, Mike Zerohed it," and basically turned the entire internet. I mean, the power of Ryan Johnson's voice turned the entire internet on this kid. And then what happens? The Star Wars fan community, the real Star Wars fan, the toxic Star Wars fan community, not the ones who are criticizing. We're not toxic. We're just saying you guys are nuts. They're the ones who are bullies, who will try to exclude half of the audience, who use phrases like toxic Star Wars fans. Look at this. What a rude and hateful statement. The Channel Star Wars team. What a hateful and stupid, dehumanizing, belittling, pathetic Channel Star Wars. I don't know who you are, and I'm glad I don't know who you are. I'm glad. I'm only tangentially. The Star Wars community is like kind of after me a little bit too. They're like, we got to get him out of here. Hey, Star Wars fan community, I'm here to stay. Hey, weirdos that suck up to Lucasfilm, I'm here to stay. I'm not going anywhere. I just made another video. I just posted it right now, making fun of Kathleen Kennedy's fake Academy Award. I just put it up there, another 10-minute video. That's what the audience demands. I'm going harder now. I'm going harder on Star Wars.
Hard in the paint, baby.
I got it because of stuff like this. You guys kick around and bully Mike Zeroh. He's just a YouTuber. And then all of you come together. You're hoping to suck up in order to get some kind of special access to Lucasfilm. I mean, have some pride. Where's your soul? Where's your soul at? Absolutely stupid. So I'm angry about it, but I'll do more videos like that. I will definitely do more Star Wars videos. All right, look, I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Are there any more super chats? There are. Okay, let me read these. Liam, hi. For science fiction fantasy, check out Flint and Steel coming October 3rd. Teasers at Determined Pro on Twitter. Shameless self-promotion. Ian Howe, $4.99. So far, I've backed Cyberfrog, Brand, and Red Rooster. Thanks for getting me excited about comics for the first time in 10 years. Ian Howe, welcome welcome. We're so happy to have you back into comics, and I think you're going to enjoy Cyberfrog Brand and Red Rooster. Fud123, $2. Have you ever had any contact with Mike Zeroh? No, I haven't. I've never spoken to him. I've tried to get in touch with him half-heartedly. I've kind of put out the word. The way things work with me is I'll say, yeah, I'm interested in talking to Mike Zeroh. And then sometimes, or anybody, and then they show up in my inbox. Mike Zeroh has not. So I don't, this guy is a rock star. He's not interested, or he doesn't know, or he doesn't care. But I would love to have Mike Zeroh on this channel. I think that would be great. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. And I will see you again. We might do another live stream tonight, but I'm going to be working pretty hard on Cyberfrog today. You know, I'm going to be, I put up my 10-minute video and I think I did pretty good YouTube in today. Antoine, thank you. Thank you so much. As usual, you have a great day. Oh, no, you're going to sleep. Are you going to sleep?
Yeah. After I'm gonna tweak the script a little bit, and then I'm gonna lay it down.
Nice. Good. All right, guys. We'll see you a little later on. Thanks, everyone. Have a great, fantastic, positive day. Bye-bye.